Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I'll be reviewing the OF-40 MTCA, an Italian rank 6 premium medium/main battle tank that currently costs 8,730 golden eagles and sits at 8.7 BR. In this video, I'll be going over everything that you need to know about it, including its stats, how it plays, its strengths and weaknesses. I'll go over some of its scores in several key areas, and then I'll give my final recommendation on if this vehicle is worth purchasing or not. That said, if you like this kind of video, please consider subscribing to my channel, but without further ado, let's get into it. Now to start, I'll place its stats here on the side of the screen. Important stats to note are its turret traverse, armor, and overall speed. And now with all that out of the way, let's get into how it plays. Well, the OF-40 MTCA is about as light as a medium or even a main battle tank can go, in that it has very little armor, lacking any substantial steel thickness and entirely foregoing composites and ERA. This, combined with its fantastic 1000 horsepower engine, gives the MTCA a power to weight ratio of over 23 horsepower per ton. This, when combined with its very good 105mm OTO Malara cannon, means that the MTCA is an excellent flanker and base capper, and also a very good sniper, given its incredible 15.9 times zoom gunner sight. This means that, barring a brawling scenario, the MTCA can fight very successfully in many types of roles, though of course this totally depends on whatever you prefer for your battle, though it is suggested that in full up tiers, you stick to sniping or even supporting, as enemies will have the means to pick you off easily, and you also won't have the greatest armor pen compared to them. That said, though the MTCA is not without faults, as the lack of armor means that many autocannons can easily kill you, though typically only the highest penning autocannons can do so from the front. Also, most cannon shells from MBTs will be able to pen you wherever they strike, making it so that the MTCA is essentially a glass cannon in many respects. Further, it lacks thermal sights, making it difficult to pick out enemies amongst foliage, and is a disadvantage in an up tier, especially in night battles where most enemies will have thermals. Regardless, the 105mm cannon on the MTCA, when equipped with its good DM23 APF SDS round, gives you enough firepower to destroy essentially all tanks that sit at 9.0 BR and below, though you will need to figure out weak spots on higher BR tanks, as you will inevitably be up tiered in most matches. In fact, in the dozens of matches that I played in order to capture footage for this video, and just because of course this tank is fun, I was not in a single complete down tier, with only a 9.3 BR up tier being my best luck. Because of this, it is advised that you stay away from the front of the battle, again instead of relying on your speed and long range capability of the MTCA instead. Now with all that out of the way, let's get into its strengths and weaknesses, and first, for its strengths. It has an incredible gunner sight zoom of up to 15.9 times. For its second strength, it has excellent turret traverse, especially for the BR with up to 40 degrees per second of turret traverse. Third, it has great top speed and overall mobility with a 70 km/h top speed and a 23.26 horsepower per ton power to weight ratio, which means that it has enormous acceleration. Now for its fourth strength, it has an HMG on top for dealing with lightly armored enemies and aircraft. Fifth, despite the overall lack of armor, the MTCA at least features spaced armor on the side of the turret, allowing for some autocannons to lose their strength before fully penning your vehicle. Now beyond this, it does have a laser rangefinder, and finally, the MTCA features premium RP and SL bonuses. Now that being said, let's get into its weaknesses. Now first, though it isn't necessary at this BR, the MTCA lacks thermals, which of course can be a disadvantage, especially in an up tier. Second, it has essentially the same armor of a light tank with no composites or ERA on top, meaning that even some autocannons can pen the frontal hull armor of the OF-40, which maxes out at 70mm thick on the upper glacis. Now for its third weakness, complete up tiers to 9.7 BR are extremely common, and even a minor up tier is considered a major blessing, let alone the unheard of 8.7 BR down tier. And now for its fourth weakness, ammo is stored essentially everywhere that the crew is not, allowing for easy ammo rack kills, or if those are missed, easy crew kills. And now with these strengths and weaknesses out of the way, let's get into how I score this vehicle. Now first, for its armament, I give the OF-40 MTCA a 7 out of 10. While it is a very good cannon in and of itself, especially when combined with some of the best optics in game, the 105mm cannon on the MTCA is hampered by the fact that it is constantly in nearly complete complete up tiers, making its 330mm or so of armor pen seem insufficient, as many vehicles such as the Terms or ZTZ-96AP will routinely shrug off those shots. But at least when facing 9.3 PR and below vehicles, your cannon will typically be sufficient, with its potency increasing the closer that you get to 8 PR range vehicles. If it did not get in complete up tiers in most matches, I'd probably give the MTCA's armament a 7.5 or even an 8 out of 10. But its tendency to face much sturdier opponents kills this vehicle a little bit. Also, it has a middling reload rate of 8.7 to 6.7 seconds at best, which also doesn't help. Also, if you're in a rare down tier, you can use its M456 Heat FS shell if you'd like, but I would almost always keep the APF SDS loaded as the primary shell, as that is the best overall round that the MTCA has. Now for survivability, I give it a 3.5 out of 10. The armor on the MTCA is among the worst when it comes to higher BR premium tanks, though it isn't entirely useless. While it will stop most autocannons from the front and even the side of the turret, the MTCA will have a difficult time with anything shot at the side or rear of the hull. Only rarely will shots by MBTs bounce off the hull, but they do actually happen, however infrequently. Crew size is also average on this vehicle with only 4 crew members and an average sized crew compartment. In all, as stated before, the MTCA is one of the most lightly armored premium BR tanks in game, and thus cannot stand up to much punishment. But this leads to perhaps its greatest strength, and that is its mobility, in which I give it an 8.5 out of 10. As far as medium/main battle tanks are concerned, the OF-40 MTCA may as well be a Lamborghini, as it has a high 70km/h top speed and a fantastic power to weight ratio. The MTCA can outpace most vehicles in a match, including light tanks, making it a great flanker and base capper, as well as a great harasser of enemy teams, especially at a range. Not much else can be said about its mobility except that the MTCA is among the most mobile tanks in game, especially beyond 8.0 BR, which makes it perfect for people that have the need for speed. And now overall, I give it a 7 out of 10. This is an extremely imbalanced vehicle, sacrificing armor for speed, though it is this combination that mostly works. While you will die pretty instantly when fired upon by most vehicles, the MTCA offers a fairly unique combination of speed, power, and range that allows this vehicle to play in very fun and engaging ways. Despite its flaws, I have personally found tremendous success with this vehicle, more so than I have with other higher BR premium tanks, such as the CV90105TML, AMX-30 Super, and even the Terms, possibly because it fits my playstyle, or possibly because the MTCA is actually very good. So, do I recommend this vehicle? Yes, I do. The Italians continue to surprise me, as time and time again, their vehicles have ended up not only being extremely fun, but also extremely good as well. This is the case with the Ariete, the Celeri Sahariano, and now the OF-40 MTCA. While it isn't a mobile pillbox, it doesn't need to be, as it can outmaneuver anyone that it comes across, and can typically destroy or disable enemy vehicles with smart placement of its APF SDS shell. The OF-40 MTCA is an excellent vehicle that caters to people who love mobile gameplay, and will likely become a favorite vehicle of many people testing it out in battle for the first time. In all, with its strong performance and sub $50 USD cost, at least relative to GE, the OF-40 MTCA is a great purchase, especially when on sale, at least insofar as you could make a digital tank purchase a good idea. Though of course, as with everything, I would wait until a major sale before purchasing this vehicle, which you can find all of the sales and major events in my WarThunder calendar vehicle, if I remember to link that below. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Please let me know what you guys thought about this video and the vehicle in your comments below. Otherwise, please like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, and subscribe if you would like more content like this, as it always means the world to me. Either way, again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.